Welcome back, I am Ari and I recently played Olympia Soiree. Today I present you my route review for Himuka, and that's where I have to leave it. I cannot say anything about colors because that would be spoilers. Anyway, first I'm gonna talk about my first impressions and expectations going into the route. Since Olympia Soiree has a common route before the normal routes start, I'm gonna keep my first observations on the stuff that I saw there, so there's no spoilers for this route for now. Then I will continue into the route while still leaving out spoilers. After that I will go into mild spoilers and then mention some spoilers that I thought notable. I think I will have to talk about quite some stuff on that. Anyway, I'll let you know before I spoil anything though. I will also talk about dynamics between the main character and the love interest, Himuka in this case, and I will try to give you a feel for the route itself. After all of this, I'll give my personal rating of this route and the love interest. Alright, let's start. Okay, so Himuka. Himuka's character is pretty polite. He's a huge admirer of Olympia and is also scary in that regard. I mean, I'm just referring to the first meeting, I guess. He would basically do everything for her. He's pretty knowledgeable about the island and everything, except for social skills. Again, those are just my impressions for the common route, before going into his personal route. He is really dedicated to the island and its equilibrium. And he's also pretty dedicated to the people of the island, or his job in his own way, I would say. It's not like Akaza or something, but it's in a similar direction, but there's like a personal spin on it, basically. And nobody knows shit about him. For dynamics, Himuka and Olympia in the common route don't really have any. I don't know. He keeps his distance, but he seems to watch her. I mean, he was there pretty quickly. He seems to really want to protect her, and it's going in the direction of worshipping her from how he talks to her. Also, he doesn't like Hiroko. That's also something weird that I picked up in the common route, and that's kind of all I can say going into this route. Yeah, okay, so I will go into what I wrote down during the route now. I will still try to leave out spoilers again. And after I've covered the, I guess, spoiler-free stuff, we will go into spoilers. Let's start slow. So Himuka's character in the route, he's still shy, but he really wants to have contact with Olympia. He's kind of lonesome, which I guess is not surprising. He's very cute and adorable. I guess you could say really pure as a character. I was a bit surprised, but I guess it was actually, I don't know, it was surprising and not surprising at the same time that he's pretty opinionated about the gods, because there were already hints for it. But not just the gods on the island, also the outsiders and the laws. I guess the part that was really surprising to me was that despite that, he's still a defender of the status quo. I don't know how to put it into words. I guess it's like morals are above laws or something, or maybe it's just his treatments of the whites. I don't know. I mean, I guess at the end now I understand, but like that's what I took note of going in to the route. But like as you can expect, this route plays a little bit like Tokisada's in the sense he's easily deflated. He's also very hesitant and sometimes even fearful of Olympia. He's also afraid of places with many people, which I found a bit odd at the beginning. I guess it makes sense for his character, but like why, right? So yeah, coming back to him being afraid of Olympia, he seems to be super afraid of her hating him. I have a lot of question marks on my notes, but in the end it all made sense. For structure of the route, I can say it's a super slow route. The plot progresses pretty slowly most of the time, and the romance is really slow too. It's definitely more plot heavy than romance heavy. So most of the route is plot, and I think I have an idea about how Akaza's route will play out. I think it will be similar, because there's a lot of details to cover. Despite all of it might sound pretty negative, but the plot was really good, so that's not a negative point. And what is shown of them, or like of the route, is very sweet. But as you can maybe already tell from my voice, it's not that romantic somehow. I'm gonna go into more about this in the spoilery section though. Alright, so now we go into mild spoilers, I guess, like more of my opinions about what happened. He definitely broke my heart sometimes with his reactions. They're really, yeah, pure and adorable. I'm repeating myself. He also apologizes so many times. It was a bit annoying at some point, but it was not as annoying, I think, as in... which route was it? Was it Tokisada's? I'm not sure. But he kind of stopped annoying me with it. Or I'm not sure if he stopped apologizing or if he stopped being annoying with it. I'm not sure. I didn't write that down. Anyway, I found it kind of funny that when Olympia asked him to be her friend, he kind of seemed to be praying for strength. Yeah, sadly in the first chapter I was not having that much fun. I wrote down that I was kind of getting tired of his complexes already, but it was more like a little bit playful of a comment. I really wondered what happened to him to make him the way he is, basically. But yeah, it was a bit exhausting, not gonna lie. I found it really interesting that Himuka and Olympia had kind of gone through the similar treatment. I also really found it interesting that he was described as a wordless doll. Not gonna say anything about that. And yeah, I really liked that there was more insight on Akaza from a different perspective. And it really hyped me up more for Akaza's route, actually. Yeah, I am not gonna say what the twist in this route is, but funny enough, that's like one of the first things that I wrote down. Like when I started the common route, I think I have it. Let me check. Yeah, I have exactly that. I cannot say it because this is gonna spoil the whole route. But if you played it, you know what I mean. I had exactly this question written down at the beginning of the common route when you meet Himuka. I had a few theories what else it could be, but that was my first thing that I suspected, and I was right. And in the route, after the first few chapters, I again wrote it down here. Like, is it really true? Or, yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into details. Next thing. I found it notable that Himuka is obsessed with reassuring Olympia that he will not defile her, but I guess in the end it made sense. Also, I'm definitely sure that Akaza is hiding something. I'm not gonna say what, but this one reaction we get when Olympia tells him of the story she heard was striking. I think he knows something, and I think he lied to her. Yeah. Anyway, what else do we have? Yeah, okay, I guess there's nothing more to say except, like, now we're going into the climax territory, so now I'm gonna spoil some things. Like, I'm not gonna spoil the climax or the twist, like I said, but I'm gonna, I guess, tell you what my feelings are about it, or what I thought. The climax was great. I cried. I legitimately cried. I'm not gonna say anything more about it. I was really impressed that everything, after the explanation we get for the climax, everything made sense. Like even the UI from the game, the character details, the game is really, really well crafted. They thought about everything. And I was sincerely impressed about that. Okay, I'm gonna go into deep spoilers for a bit now, so you've been warned. I'm gonna directly talk about something that happened in the route openly, so click off, click pause, I don't know, skip ahead if you don't want this. I would try to make timestamps so you can just skip it, but okay, so let me just say, I was already not really into the romance that much in this route. Like I said, it was a bit lackluster and not really well presented, and I don't know, I wasn't really feeling it. And then the thought hit me that Himuka fell for someone that looks exactly like his sister. Yeah, so there's that. But I guess it was kind of okay because he only always watched her, and it's also suggested that they never even spoke to each other. So I guess it's not that icky, but it's still, I don't know, man. Yeah. Also, I have to come back to Yosuga. Yosuga is still my favorite route. I'm sorry. I also like, the more I play, the more Riku rises in ranks in my thoughts, actually. But still Yosuga over Riku. So, hear me out for a second. Yosuga is purple, right? So, he's a mix of red and blue. So, it feels like they're finally united. I don't know if that makes sense. Depends if I understood things correctly. Anyway. Enough of the deep spoilers, I guess. Okay, so let's talk about what I thought about the story of the whole. I think we can switch to the rating. Alright, so Himuka. I have to say, for my feelings, yeah, I am very happy for Himuka and Olympia. I liked the plot a lot. I liked how the story related to her destiny and the discrepancy between Olympia and her true destiny. Also, like, the resolution was really well made. I don't know. I just liked everything about it, I guess. Like, just as a tidbit, like, I really liked that Olympia was right the whole time. It's a minor thing, but she said, like, she suspects that there's nothing behind the blinds, right? And I mean, she was right. Yeah. If you played the route, then you know why, right? Anyway, so for Himuka, like, how does he rate? As a husband or like as a love interest? Himuka is not best boy. I'm very sorry to all the people that love him so much. I heard so many good things. He's pretty well beloved in the community apparently, but he's not best boy, but he's good boy. Okay, he's good boy. On paper, their story is perfect. It's simply perfect. I definitely agree. I can see why people love him so much. And I also want to give him a hug. But it's kind of weird. On paper, he's exactly what I enjoy. But what is presented, or like how their relationship comes to be and stuff, it's just not as romantic as I hoped. Yet it is romantic, but it's just, I don't know. I just didn't really feel it. I really tried and I hoped, but I don't know, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's his demeanor looks a little bit like a similar problem with Tokisada. I really don't understand, because I think I should have loved his route, right? I should have. But I don't know, it's just more plot than romance. Yeah, so I guess it's, I don't want to put him in did not take the bait, even though I kind of didn't. This could be a rightful place for him, but like the plot was so good and I really liked how everything came together and the climax was great, and like I said, on paper it's the perfect story. It's just the execution is, yeah, I mean, that's what they did. They just put so much time and effort into the plot that, well, the romance is just, I don't know, right? So yeah, I'm gonna be graceful and I'm gonna put him in I wish there was more. Yeah, I guess they have similar problems. Like Himuka has great plot and progression, and Tokisada, I really like the romance aspect, but the plot was just and they're both kind of lacking even in their strong departments. I guess the plot isn't lacking in Himuka's round, but in Tokisada's route, the romance could have been a bit, I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, I'm really struggling here. I'm just gonna stop and leave it as it is. So we only have Akaza left. I'm really hyped for him. I hope it will go better than with Himuka. I hope, like, I'm expecting so much plot right now, and I really hope that they will still manage to put in more romance, because like I will have a similar problem if this stays like this. But I hope, I think I've seen enough in Himuka's route actually that I think I know how everything will go in Akaza's route. So wish me luck. I expect Akaza to be like in one of these two categories, in perfect or happy couple. But we will see. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and we're gonna find out in the next episode. See you then!